G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Super Rugby semi-finals. Yes, this is actually a semi-final game, and that is the scoreline. 52 points to 15. The Crusaders dominated the Blues. If you told me the Blues had played together for a whole season, I would call you a liar based on this performance, because this was really, really bad. I mean, the Blues players had no idea where they wanted to go, where the space are they wanted to attack. The backs were throwing the ball to each other like they're not even expecting. They were just dropping the balls everywhere. The breakdown, the Blues got absolutely dominated. The set piece, the Blues was horrendous. The lineouts just like, it was like amateur hours, right? Like overthrown, not straight. Just unforced errors from the Blues in their own set piece as well. This was really, really bad. I mean, the All Black selection is coming up on Sunday. The question has to be asked, do any of the Blues players, and I do include Mark Talea, deserve to be in the All Blacks jersey? This was, when it comes to the All Blacks, it really, there's a few, it's not just the jersey, it's not just, the most, talent is not really enough to wear the All Blacks jersey. You need to have heart, you need to have resilience, determination, and professional ambition, right? To pull yourself together to win games. That's what you need. That's what it means to be the All Blacks. It's about leaving the All Blacks jersey in a better spot after you wear it. That's what they talk about in the All Blacks dressing rooms. And none of the players in this evening showed any of those characters. Okay, I don't care if your name's Beauden Barrett. I don't care if you're Rieko Ioane. Caleb Clark hasn't performed the whole season. None of the players showed any of those characters to deserve the All Blacks jersey. And quite frankly, none of them should be selected. Maybe Mark Talea as a backup winger or something. Because when you're under pressure, just like this one in a semi-final, that's what you need to do to show up, to take the pressure, to take the adversity, and you fight through it. That's what it means to be an All Black. That's what it means. That's what you need to win the World Cup, to win the semi-finals against Ireland, in the quarterfinals against Ireland. That's what you need. And none of the players possess that in the Blues team. The Crusaders, on the other hand, right? Really, Razor is going to take the All Blacks to another level next year. Like, the Crusaders started this season really badly. They lost to the Chiefs in the first round, and then they lost to Fijian and Jura a couple rounds later, right? Really poor season. And then they went on to have injuries after injuries in key positions. They struggled through the season, right? They have Sammy Whitelock injured. They have David Havili injured. And you know what they've done? They kept on building. They put new players into positions. They trained them. They drilled. They worked hard. They worked on the set piece. They studied their opponent, right? I think that is one of the really key areas. They studied their opponent. They found the Blues' weakness and they exploited. And through just relentless execution, relentless training and practice, they executed the game plan they wanted to play to perfection. 52 points to 15. Just, if you look on paper, the Blues team is much better than the Crusaders. Like, I'm not joking. The Crusaders have so many injuries. Most of the players in the Crusaders team is not even going to be considered for the All Blacks on the field tonight because of the injuries that the Crusaders have sustained. And yet they put on a performance like this against a All Black studded Blues team. Which I like, honestly. If Beauden Barrett, this is the end of the line for Beauden Barrett. That was horrendous. Dropping the balls, throwing passes, like, it was just horrendous. Rieko Ioane as well got absolutely exploited in this game. The Crusaders clearly studied that the center field defense has been quite poor. Rieko Ioane, in his defensive, he tends to rush the defense a bit too quickly, sometimes leaving gaps open out wide. The Crusaders exploited that. Yeah, number of tries was leading up to Rieko Ioane's mistakes. And honestly, Rieko, you want to play center, you're just not good enough, mate. Honestly, you are a great winger, Rieko, but as a center, You're just not there. You're not a Conrad Smith. You're just not there. And I also mentioned I saw the breakdown. Horrendous by the Blues. Like, no one was committed to the breakdown. The Crusaders was getting turnovers at the breakdown left and right. Even Fayenga Nuku, the winger, was getting turnovers at the breakdowns. Right? I don't know how that's even possible. How, like, a winger was able to get in the breakdowns and turn it over easily. Getting turnover penalties for the team. Right? Like, it's just mind-boggling how poor the Blues were. Anyway, so let's go through some stats. I mean, this was, so one-sided. I couldn't believe that this was a semi-final game against the Blues. One of the most stacked All Black team in history, right? So, run meters wise, the Blues had plenty of opportunity to attack, but they were just running into brick walls. 472 run meters of the Crusaders, believe it or not, and the Blues had 506. 156 carries for the Blues. Okay, I don't even know if this was correct. I'm sure that can't be that much to the Crusaders 95. The turnovers conceded, this is definitely correct. 16 turnovers conceded for the Blues, only 10 conceded for the Crusaders. 206 tackles for the Crusaders, 107 for the Blues. 21 missed tackles for the Blues, 27 missed for the Crusaders. I mean, I don't even know these stats actually don't look correct to me, but anyway, kicks in play, 26 kicks for the Crusaders, 12 for the Blues. Absolutely got dominated. Beauden Barrett missed one kick. Rishi Mwanga missed one kick, but Rishi Mwanga was slotting most of it, pretty much every other kick in the game. The lineouts, 13 Crusaders, 10 for the Blues. There was so many. We know that this stats is incorrect because they haven't been keeping track of lineout loss for the whole season now. So I don't know why. But the Blues had so many lineouts where it's just elementary errors. Not straight, overthrown. It was pretty bad to watch. The scrums, I thought the Crusaders actually had a scrum dominance. But there were a few like technical errors that led to there was the one scrum loss. There was like a technical error where Garner said it was dropping it in binds, despite the fact that the Crusaders had a dominant scrum. So yeah, the Crusaders even had a dominant scrum over the Blues, despite the Blues having a lot of the All Blacks front rowers in their team as well, right? Penalties considered 11 for both teams. There was one yellow card against the Blues for repeated penalty. I think it was a cynical sacking of the maul, I think, from Hoskins to Tutu, which led to a yellow card for the Blues. So yeah, really, really bad performance all around for the Blues. And this was a pretty one-sided game. So let's go through some of the key points at the start. There was an early 50-22 for the Crusaders, immediately get themselves in the right zone to play rugby. And then a few phases later, it was clear that the Blues wasn't contesting the breakdown. So really quick ball for the Crusaders. Brandon Ennor carves open center field. Like I said, they did their homework. The Crusaders did their homework. And Riku Ioane is just not really reading the defensive line correctly. Brandon Ennor's slide just basically carves in through center field for the first try for the Crusaders. 2 minutes into the game. There was more penalties after this try was scored. The Crusaders was in control. They get a penalty, and they go to the corner. And then a few phases later, really just, again, good hands to the wing. Fayenga Nuku was out of the wing. Open space in front of him. Goes in for the second try. Again, just quick balls. And the Blues just look like shell-shocked. Look like, this was still pretty early in the game. The Crusaders always been good in the first 10 minutes. They drill their set piece. They do their attack moves, and it's always just, they always come out firing. So 2 tries, 11 minutes into the game for the Crusaders, something that we're kind of starting to get used to at this point. So 20 minutes into the game, the Blues were just looking so indecisive. It was like their backline was not really set up properly. You see like Beauden Barrett's making mistakes left and right. People were like, this is something that you really don't see. The Blues team was literally pointing at each other for the ball to be passed to. Okay, I kid you not. Go watch the replay. There was so numerous times where people were like pointing at each other, right? Like, you get past to that guy. No, go the other way. Like pointing at each other for the ball to go to. Instead of stepping up and say, hey, I want the ball. People were like, go that way, pointing at each other. Like, it was so disorganized. It was actually really, really embarrassing. 20 minutes into the game, they considered a penalty, the Blues. Crusaders kicks 3 points, 18 points to nil. 25 minutes into the game, the Blues finally got some sort of like momentum in, I guess not even momentum. They were finally inside the Crusaders half. It was again really indecisive. There was just poor passes left and right. No one seems to know who's gonna be receiving the ball. Beauden Barrett throws a pass that ended up in a Crusaders hand. Luckily for him, there was a penalty advantage before he threw this intercept. So Blues gets an opportunity. And in my mind, I'm like, you're 18 points down, man. You're 18 points down. You're 18 points down. Finally, you have some opportunity to put some pressure on. The Blues takes a 3. Yeah. I was like, please don't tell me that's your decision. After 25 minutes, you're 18 points down. They take the 3 points. Unbelievable. Unbelievably bad. So 18 points to 3. There was so many bad plays on the Blues. Zan Sullivan was like throwing the ball straight out of the bounce to the touch judge. There was the Beauden Barrett slipping, throwing the ball to the ground to like nobody, passing the ball to nobody to the ground. It was horrendous. 35 minutes into the game, the Crusaders put more pressure on. They got inside the Blues 22 once again, just sustained pressure. Eventually, the ball goes out to, I think it was, who was they got the ball? I think it was Richie Mo'unga. Richie Mo'unga gets the ball. Again, they knew Rieko Ioane's defensive habits. He rushes up, comes into runs into Richie Mo'unga. Richie Mo'unga, short flat ball to Will Jordan, who just runs straight into the gap where Rieko Ioane should have been. Try time, Crusaders, 34 minutes into the game, 25 points to 3. Just before halftime, Crusaders showed that, hey, we can do more than just exploiting Rieko Ioane's poor defense at center field. They get on a penalty to go for the line out. The Blues gets penalized for sacking the first more. What's his name? The Hoskins Sotutu gets yellow carded. Crusaders goes for another line out. This time slow and steady. Moore's over for the fourth try. Cody Taylor gets this one, 39th minute. 32 points to 3 was the halftime score. Second half starts 4 minutes into the game. The Blues finally gets himself in a penalty. They get inside the Crusaders 22. They have a line out. Not straight. They throw an uncontested line out that was not straight for the Blues. Yes, really bad. So the 47 minutes into the game, this was embarrassing for Beauden Barrett, I thought. There was I think it was a Crusaders line out. There was just one set move. This is something they definitely practice in training. The line out comes down. Fainga'a Nuku was standing behind the line out. So he sweeps around. It was a bit of decoy runner. He was deep behind, sweeps around. Again, straight into the center field where Rieko Ioane probably should have been. Goes straight through the gap in the mid center field where the 13 channel, basically 12-13 channel is. He runs through, right? Beauden Barrett was running. There was a few players around him. He looked like he was going to get tackled. Shrugs off everybody. He runs through. Beauden Barrett runs around. He clearly could have made the tackle. You can see this. You can go watch the replay. Instead of making the tackle, Beauden Barrett decides to go and cover the play out wide. He didn't even try to make this tackle. And Fainga'a Nuku just runs straight through. He had two players desperately trying to get him. Beauden Barrett didn't even try. Runs past him. And Fainga'a Nuku goes the first try and fifth try for the Crusaders. 7 minutes into the second half. I was like, yeah, that was quite embarrassing for Beauden Barrett. Finally, I think they put on what's his name? Stephen Perifetta for the Blues at this point. Finally, the Stephen Perifetta was it Stephen Perifetta? Yeah, I think it was Stephen Perifetta that came on. Yeah. And finally, the Blues starting to look like they know what they're doing. Beauden Barrett seems to be playing on the wing at this point because Perifetta is like maybe at 10, doing a lot of the playmaking, and actually Blues start looking a little bit better. 57 minutes into the game, finally the Blues, following on some nice attack patterns out of the Beauden Barrett was able to get the ball and send a nice short ball to Riku Ioane, who runs through a gap, takes the Blues into the 22, pretty close to try line, and then just build a lot of pressure from the Blues, bit of a crash ball. They spread the ball out wide. Beauden Barrett gets the ball center field, little dummy and go, carves through the center field. He was up against the forward, so he just stiff armed the forward defender, goes in for the first try for the Blues. 8 points to 39. 57 minutes into the game. And yeah, there was 1 point after this try was scored. The Blues was looking quite a bit straight in. There was some nice, good, there was some nice little kicking game. The Beauden Barrett gets the ball at 1 point. They got a penalty advantage. He saw open space out wide where Caleb Clark was. He did a nice crossfield kick. This was pinpoint accurate kick for Beauden. This was a beautiful play. The ball was going straight to Caleb Clark, going to get into this Brett basket. Not Cody Taylor. Will Jordan saw this. He sprints across towards Caleb Clark with his back turned against the ball, by the way. You imagine the ball's going crossfield and Cody Taylor's running towards the ball, towards where the same direction as where the ball is being kicked. So his back is literally turned against the ball. He jumps up and catches the ball basically with his back turned just before the ball reached the bread basket of Caleb Clark, which would have been the try, and he saves and he calls a mark inside. This was inside the 22, and saves the try. It was unbelievable. Will Jordan, it was just Superman performance. I was just blown away by how good this catch was for Will Jordan. I was like, yeah, it was ridiculous. I had to mention that. That was ridiculous by Will Jordan. 63 minutes into the game, more knock on by Beauden Barrett. Poor passes from everybody. Everybody's pointing at each other, saying, hey, don't pass to me, pass to that guy. Go that way, man. Not me, pass to him. Your ball, right? Everybody was calling your ball on the Blue side. I don't know what's going on. 64 minutes into the game, another penalty to the Crusaders. The kick for another 3. 17 minutes into the game, there was another penalty for the Crusaders. They go for the line out, and it looked like Scott Barrett was taken off the, taken down in the air. He literally didn't even touch the ground when the maul was set, so he looked like he was taken out in the air. But anyway, they set up the maul, and then the maul kind of steadied. Again, they knew where the gap was. Center field, where Riku Ioane probably should have been. They throw the ball out wide to, I think this was, who was it that got the ball from the, I think there was Brendan N or, no, it was Jack Goodhue actually. Jack Goodhue gets the ball center field. Quick hand, he runs in, draws a bunch of defenders. Quick hand to Richie Mwanga, who was looping behind him. Richie Mwanga runs down center field, draws the defender. Riku Ioane, short ball to Burke. Short ball to Burke, straight through for the 6th try for the Crusaders. 49 points to 8. Okay, and yeah, that and then it was really obvious where the defensive gap was for the Crusaders, and once again, another easy try for the Crusaders. 70 minutes into the game. 76 minute, more drop balls by Beauden Barrett. Seems to be the story of the game for him. And finally, the game was over. The 80 minutes, everybody's getting up, getting to leave. Blues strikes back. The Crusaders had to take one of the players off the field for injury protection. So the Crusaders were playing with 14 players at this point. Blues gets a penalty advantage inside the Crusaders 22. A little bit of hands to the winger, Caleb Clark. There was one player advantage on the field. Caleb Clark goes in for the consolation try, 82 minutes. And final score, 52 points to 15. Yeah. Hopefully, Ian Foster watched this game and crossed all the Blues players out of his list, because this was unbelievably bad. Unbelievably bad. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the second semi-final between the Brumbies and the Chiefs. Cheers.